asked Nigerians to share the stories of their mothers, the sacrifices they made for them, the journey of pain, love, devotion, and struggles made by our mothers to make us who we are today. They shared their stories with us. Thousands of entries, hundreds of interviews, and documentary across the country. 20 unique stories have been selected for us to learn from, appreciate, and celebrate. The sacrifices and devotion are real. Real people, real stories, real experiences. The emotional true life experiences being shared, narrated, and dramatized are simply captivating. Sit back, relax, and enjoy most touching stories of our mothers. The Supermom reality TV show starts now.
Hi there, my name is Kate Henshaw. I am an African actress. I have indeed come a long way, and I still remember my very first big film role, When the Sun Sets. Until date, everyone still refers to me as Omono. Well, all these wins have been possible without the love and support of my parents, especially my mom. I am a mother now, so I know exactly what it takes to run the motherhood ministry.
Mothers, super mothers, extraordinary mothers, the guiding and guarding angels, the beauties of human existence, the confidence of children's boast, the zeal in our strengths. What can we do without them? World without them is incomplete. No wonder they say, in every great home is one great mom behind it. Evergreen songs have been waxed for their devotions, love and care. Authors have written great prose and poetry for their strength, resilience and pains.
That is why I'm loving you.
Filmmakers have x-rayed their beauties, the virtues and values in pictures. The frills and thrills of all these creative hands point to one conclusion: mothers are great and deserve to be appreciated. The journey, which began 12 weeks ago, has finally come to an end.
Nigerians sent in their stories of great pain, sacrifices, devotion. We're told 20 mothers were chosen, 10 mothers made it to the next stage, and today the winner of Supermom 2 will be unveiled. So after the break, when we come back, I will tell you amazing and heart-touching stories about the 10 finalists. Stay tuned.
These are the 10 mothers Nigerians voted for. Mrs. Ngozi Mark, who was given several names like All Weather by friends and people around because she's forced to do any job just to earn a living for her children's upkeep. Mrs. Cecilia Odunaya, a widow and teacher who stretched her meager salary to ensure her children had the best in life. The Supermom team went to Port Harcourt to hear Mrs. Loveline Iyeke, who told us her story of how she single-handedly raised her 10 children after the death of her husband. Judith Asange, a loyal mother who stood by her son when he lost his right hand. She donated blood and also made sure he was ready for school, was also voted to the next stage. Mrs. Aishat M. Oladosu did a terrific job as a mother, making sure her son did not lose both legs. She took him everywhere till there was a solution to his challenges. From Osun State, the search for the Supermom took us to Edo State, where Mrs. Bessie Egbobaonye resides. She told us how her husband neglected her and her children, but she rose up to the task, and today her children are better off.
6 stories, 6 heart-rending, courageous and terrific stories about the motherhood.
After her husband took ill, Mrs. Sidikat Karim became the breadwinner of the family. On days when there was no money to feed her children, Mrs. Sidikat Karim resorted to begging to ensure her children did not go hungry or her husband without drugs. Mrs. Taiwo Akintade stood by her only son, Sunday Akintade. She almost lost her sight and hearing for his upkeep. Mrs. Folajogun Adeshono is a widow with 6 children who made sure her children had the best, like her husband had planned for them. She fought for them, even went to the extent of borrowing money when necessary. Mrs. Theresa Ngo gave her all to her children after the death of her husband.
We started out with 20 mothers, then it dwindled down to 10 mothers, and now finally 5 mothers with the highest votes are in the finals. The 5 mothers who had the highest votes cast by Nigerians, nothing to do with me.
At the end of the second round, you voted for these 5 mothers, namely Mrs. Cecilia Udunaya, Mrs. Bessie Egbobanwoyi, Mrs. Theresa Nwohu, Mrs. Taiwo Akintade, and Mrs. Folajogun Adeshono. These mothers went the extra mile for their children. Most of them stopped living so their children's lives would be better. They were shunned by society, yet their love for their children never wavered. Some of them were asked to abandon their children or be left alone with their burden. They chose to stay with their children than to have it the easy way. It was their children's happiness that kept them going. And today, their positive result-oriented sacrifices brought them this far. Inasmuch as these women are great mothers, a winner must emerge. The winner would go home with keys to a bungalow. The first runner-up, a brand new car, and the second runner-up will go home with cash prize.
Now their sacrifices have paid off and their children are a lot better off.
The Supermom Season 2, a celebration of our mothers. The Supermom Season 2, a celebration of our mothers.
From the results collated by the judges and votes from you, our fantastic viewers, the second runner-up for Supermom reality TV show 2011 is...
From results collated by the judges and votes from viewers, the second runner-up of the Supermom reality TV show 2011 is Mrs. Bessie Egbobanwoyi.
Oh, tell me you could feel like my mama again.
I say if I come out now, me I go be a woman wey no wan stay for husband's house.
Be my mama, be my mama, yeah, mama, yeah, mama.
Mrs. Bessie Egbobanwoyi is a widow with 5 children. This Edo State indigene made sure her children's welfare was her only dream in life. When her husband rejected her and her children, Mrs. Bessie Egbobanwoyi became a farmer, a trader, just to ensure that her children have the best in life. Here is a recap of her story.
When I say I no marry, my papa come dey vex with me. All of them. When I got home, I consider with this man wey dey worry me before Benin man. I tell my papa say I see person I go marry. My papa nearly shoot gun for all of them come dey happy. They marry me to this man. When I dey say, I come say this man bring another woman. I tell my papa say, what is? I don't know this country.
From the way I look at it, my mother is married to another person's. That is a man destined for another man. They married quite all right.
As they treated me, I say they treat my children. Not they like to give them money. We shall say, oh no, do toi, Mr. Oleleje. That means that apparently say, oh sit down for a husband house, not gain it. Just they manage. Anything where I take my money back, now go be my children. Their papa they not near them. I don't understand. And the man not they treat me well. Me to say now the rate we go for, we go cut in that so it be. I come look here and just say, who marry for a family? You know they say may go back home again. I just settled down.
The problem she even had with her people was that she didn't leave my father. They didn't like the way she was being maltreated. And in their quarters, they have one belief that if you leave your husband, your daughters will find it hard to get a husband.
When I come, you know, allow me to, I can't stay outside for 3 days or 4 days.
My mother stood within that 3 days.
Before people they talk, before he say, Before he say make me go enter the room where they never plaster. No ceiling. Me and with the call there. I look up, I look down. I say if I come out now, me I go be a woman wey no wan stay for husband's house. When she say my daughter can't finish secondary school, manage finish secondary school, you go enter university. For you to be a lawyer, to be a doctor, that's my solution. I go carry wood, I make fire, I boil the water, I put her for Kent rubber when it cold. I carry her for I can't go give my pikin. Like Christmas they go, I can't they go.
With me, she trekked all the way from Irwa to Ekpoma.
Say, waiting now, they come. I said, why would they ask me? Say, na moto. I say, moto. If I see money, na moto, I go enter. I don't come give you.
This she did for 2 months.
Mama, you're the reason I'm singing this song. Every day they suffer for me like no other man. If I no job, you no good job, you to provide for me. Yeah. Anytime that is gone, you strong. You the tidy, no be small, no easy at all. You pick me up. Anytime that I fall, and when I dey cry.
She did all this sacrifice without even, she did them with that. She does not, you won't see it on her face.
You have to take me, mama, you got body, you got body, you got body. You have to take me, mama, you got body, it doesn't know is in but you got body. If I tell you now about my life, I go to cry, me we are not there, make una dey cry. Because I don't get water for eye, girl. Still they beg my God. Say, make you help me for the rest. 5 will remain for my half of this man, or make it they not die again.
Mommy, Bessie Omozeli Egbabari, my great mother. I just want to tell you that I love you so much.
Based on results collated by the judges, and of course they do not have the final say because you, the viewers, have the power to vote. This first runner-up, remember, goes home with a brand new car, and deservedly so. The first runner-up for Supermom TV reality show 2011 is... No, you're still there.
The first runner-up of the Supermom reality TV show Season 2 is Mrs. Theresa
I
Ngo.
want to buy motor, not be bicycle. I want to build house for my mama. This is not the coco. I know they play koso with my mama, yeah, mama, yeah, mama. Everybody there, hey, mama, yeah, mama. I really love you so. I want to tell you one story. Not the reason when they make me the
all of the things that you have done and how much you have sacrificed. There is nothing that I do today or ever that will measure up with your sacrifice.
She could and send us to school, eh? All because she's a supermom. She did all she could and provide us food, eh? For 9 months, she carried me because of one thing.
Mrs. Theresa Ngo is a widow with 5 children. Her son, Onyebuchi, could not walk when he was a year and 8 months old. He was taken to several hospitals, but his mother never lost hope that her son would one day walk again. She taught him how to walk with the aid of a stick. Years later, Onyebuchi Ngo gained admission into the university, and it was at this point the landlord sent them out of the house. Mrs. Theresa Ngo gave her son the money she had saved for house rent for his school fees. Instead, she moved to a church where she spent 12 years with her children. Today, Onyebuchi is happily married and is a businessman. all because his mother dared to believe in him.
Early morning, I was outside washing clothes. He was inside crying. I said, come, I'm outside. Come and meet me. Come and meet me. He continued crying. I left what I'm doing. I came inside. I saw he has weed everywhere.
And that was how the journey of my mother's life in my life started. When I got admission at Itiria Community Secondary School, she allowed me. I went to the school. All of a sudden, the school was, the Itiria community was chased out from Ansaudin Girls High School because we used the same compound, and they relocated us to Sonya Grammar School. I will have to, my mom will carry me at about 6 a.m. every day. We would trek the express road, Oshodi Mile 2 express road. As early as 6 a.m., we would trek from there to Sonya.
I will back him in the early morning.
And I did this for a year plus. When the principal saw that my mom was suffering because she got to know my mom.
There is one woman by our next compound. She used to sell ogi. After washing that ogi, the white corn, I will collect the chaff from her. I now mix it with that fufu. I will turn it. That is how me and my children are surviving.
I had to walk up to my mom, wake her up one midnight, and I told her, I said, that was the first time I actually had a hot argument with my mom because she cried.
Every time he tell my mom, I want to go to university, I say, hey, no way. That one, no man's land, now you they measure. I don't know that they want to give me quick notice in the compound I'm living that time. So that day I was in the market, in the afternoon like this. I saw him coming. He was jubilating, doing his hands like this. Mommy, I made it.
She felt there was no more life, but somehow God sent help from people, friends.
And I remember that my dream. I lived there for 12 good years.
Immediately after I graduated, I got a job with...
Got one job that he got. After he came one day, I said, Mama, I stopped job. I said, you stopped job, okay?
And right there in my room, I rented a one-room apartment in Lagos. I made up my mind and I started designing a business.
There are 3 finalists left. Remember who they are? Mrs. Cecilia Udunaya, who would stretch her salary to the barest minimum just to make sure that her children had the best in life. Taiwo Akintade, Mrs., who almost lost her sight and her hearing for her only son Sunday to make sure that he did not lack in any way. And of course, there is Mrs. Folajogun Adeshona, a widow with 6 children, who did not make them feel as if the loss of a father would be the end of their lives. Which of these 3 should be our supermom? After the break.
My mama, hey, oh, tell me you could feel
Omotola Jalade Kende has been entertaining countless lives and courting her hearts on screen since the 90s. She got married about 15 years ago to her charming pilot husband, Captain Matthew Ekende. Their union is blessed with 4 lovely kids, 2 boys and girls. And you cannot but commend her for a job well done. So, from the thrills and hitches of motherhood to her views and experience on an enduring celebrity marriage, to her experience at the Grammys, her movies, and her music, Omo T, as she's fondly called, bears it all. Her full figure still fits well into magazine covers. Her imagination makes motherhood appear easy, as she has been able to merge motherhood with stardom.
But because she's a supermom, she did all she could and provide us food day. For 9 months, she carried me because of one thing or two.
Supermom reality TV show Season 2, The Celebration of Mothers, began with a town storm which took the Supermom train to various cities in the Federation, creating awareness and collecting unique stories of extraordinary mothers in these cities. The train began in the ancient city of Abeokuta, the state capital of Ogun State. The team visited MKO International Stadium, where the town storm was activated. The train also visited Oba Isile of Egbaland, Oba Adedapo Tejosho. Though the Oba was not on seat, the secretary, who was also a chief, received the team. They had a wonderful time getting stories from the street. After some days in Abeokuta, the train moved on to Ibadan, Oyo State. It visited Genesis Bower Towers, which was erected in December 1936 in the honor of Captain Ross L. Bower, who was the first resident traveling Commissioner of Interior, Yoruba Land, between 1893 and 1977.
Welcome back, viewers. Okay, we still have our winner to be revealed. But before then, I'd like to tell you my own little bit about being a mother. I have an 11-year-old daughter, and I know what it takes to be able to give her all the best that she needs. Give her not just money, not just gifts, not just things, not just games, but to give your time. I wake up as early as I can to make sure that she has a shower, and then when I do, I make sure that I take her to school. Sometimes I do miss out on her school activities, and it really, really hurts me. But the most joyous thing of all is to come back from a hard day's work and have her say, "Mommy, I love you." And then, "Mommy, could you spend time with me?" Sometimes we go to the cinema, we do a girly day out. Sometimes I do want to hang out with my friends, but I do remember that my daughter takes first place in my heart. It's not easy being a mother because we try and multitask. You have your own dreams, you have the dreams of your children to consider as well, and make sure that they do not lack anything. You make sure that they're the best in life, that they're courageous, that they're humble, that they're well behaved, that they're respectful, and that they can fend for themselves when the time comes. All this encapsulates a mother. You have your own emotions. You have days that you don't even feel like even coming out and speaking to anyone. But you have to be strong for your children. You have to give them your all. Literally give them your heart. And that is what these mothers have done. Well, have I salivated enough of your taste buds? Our reveal will soon be here. And now the end is near, and so we face the final curtain. I'm not going to say, I'm too excited. Now, it's time to reveal the winner of Supermom 2 TV reality show 2011. Okay. I need to stand for this woman. I need to stand. And I hope you're all standing wherever you are watching this. Now, the winner. She's selfless, courageous, industrious, loving, peaceful, strong woman, independent woman. She took care of her children. She made sure they did not lack anything. She gave her all. I believe she deserves not only to be the winner, but also a Nobel laureate. Yes, she deserves that. I would want a film to be done about her. That is what I think of who she is. She gives us mothers out there, other mothers, hope for tomorrow, and know that we can do maybe even just a bit like she has done for her children. And of course, geez, you deserve it. I want to say that whoever I call now deserves it. From the votes collated by the judges, and of course, your final votes for the winner. The winner, first prize, getting the keys to a brand new bungalow, is none other than
my mama. Hey. Oh.
What have saved me is the boldness of my mother.
I want to buy motor, not be bicycle. I want to build house for my mama. This is not the coco. I know they play koso with my mama.
We are 10. It can only take God, who has spared your life, to train us.
I really love you so. I want to tell you one story. Now the reason when they make me, they give God the glory. I want to make money for my precious mama.
You will live to eat the fruits of the land.
Amen.
You will live to declare God's
Raised
word.
by one mother, no papa, no uncle, no auntie. Just
Popularly known as Yak Padawa in her neighborhood, she's selfless, courageous, steadfast, determined, industrious, and a loving mother. For every blow life dealt her, she always stood her ground, knowing that her focus is her children. Her 6 children never, for once, felt they had lost a father because she filled the gap the best way she could. She sold timber. When that was no longer lucrative, she became a builder, a food seller. These she did so her children will have a better future. Today, her 6 children are graduates and gainfully employed because one woman decided to fight back rather than accept what fate threw at her. As if this was not enough, she took in her in-laws' 4 children when they lost their parents and brought them up as she would do to her biological children. 3 of them were graduates and working, and the last an undergraduate. Though she was despised by her late father's husband, she never allowed this cloud her sense of purpose. There were times when the burden was too much for her. Yet, she treads on, not negotiating a pity party with life. Friends advised her to abandon her children and live her life. Little did they know her children's happiness and well-being was her life. 10 children, no father, attacks from immediate families, shame, debts, embarrassments, collapsing health, crumbled business, menial jobs, and she still sailed the boats of the family to a successful shore. No wonder the judges and the viewers voted Mrs. Folajogun Adeshono as the winner of the Supermom reality TV show Season 2.
My name is Ademola Adeshono.
Orúkọ mi, Mrs. Folajogun Adeshono. Mo gbéyàwó 1972. Ìrìn àjò náà ńgbà tí mo ṣe ìgbéyàwó ó wà very smooth. Ọmọ mi kan wà lọ́mọ ọdún mẹ́ta. Ó ń jẹ́ Demola Adeshono.
In 1997, I was 3 years old and came back from school, was watching TV. Suddenly, I was struck with this illness. I could not speak, I could not talk, I was dumbfounded.
Ọmọ yẹn ò mara mọ́. Ó wà lọ́mọ ọdún mẹ́ta. Wọ́n dé ọwọ́ ẹ̀, wọ́n dé ẹsẹ̀ mọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀dì. Wọ́n á bi dókítà léèrè pé kí ni àìsàn tó lè máa ṣe ọmọ kí wọ́n dé ọwọ́ àtẹsẹ̀ mọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀dì. Ọmọ yìí ò mọ̀ mí mọ́. Mò ń pè Démọ́lá, nǹkan míì ló ń sọ jáde lẹ́nu.
Mrs. Folajogun Adeshono was close to tears when she saw her 3-year-old son tied to the bed and throwing tantrums. He could not talk or walk. She asked for him to be discharged and the doctors were skeptical.
Dókítà ní báwọn ṣe rí nìyẹn. Ó ní kí n má wọ́rì. Ó láwọn wà on it. Ní bá ní mi lè gbà kó wà on it. Látọjọ́ ló ti wà bí wọ́n ní 10 days. Ẹ fún mi ní voluntary discharge.
So I was taken to our hometown in Mojoda.
Nígbà tá a débẹ̀ bàbá aláìláláì wá sọ pé àtàkóró wọnú àdó. Bó o bá wọ̀ ọ́, ṣé o lè gbọ́ ọmọ wọ̀ ọ́? Pé ọmọ ìkọ́ ni wọ́n fẹ́ bájà.
There was a woman in that place in my town. Everybody feared her.
Mo wá pé bàbá ọkọ mi, mo ní wọ́n sọ pé ẹni tó ń ṣọmọ ìlú ìlú wà. Mo ní bàbá ó ní mo ní máa gbẹ̀san o. Mo ní màá jẹ́wọ́ fún yín pé Oǹdó ni mí. Ní bàbá ní kí ló dé? N bá yọ àdá, n bá wá ilé ìyá yín lọ. Mo ṣe ń lọ báyìí ni wọ́n ti ń pe ìyá yín pé ìyàwó Adé ń bọ̀ o, ìyàwó Adé ń bọ̀ o. Ìyá yín bá sá wọ inú oko wọn lẹ́gàn ibi tí wọ́n ti ń ṣe iṣẹ́ oko. Ó sá lọ bẹ̀ mí ìmọ̀ bẹ̀. Nígbà tó dé alẹ́, bàbá ọkọ mi wá tilẹ̀kùn mọ́ mi sínú yàrá. Wọ́n wá lọ mú ìyá yẹn wá. Mi ìmọ̀ nǹkan tó lò fún ọmọ mi. Nígbà tó dé ọjọ́ kejì lọ́mọ mi wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí sọ̀rọ̀.
What have saved me is the boldness of my mother. Ondo people generally are very bold, and she is extraordinarily bold.
Mo labour oyún yẹn ní January 2nd, 1986. Mo labour ẹ̀ di January 8 ní County Hospital kí wọ́n tó fi operation gbé ọmọ yẹn jáde. Nígbà tí wọ́n gbé ọmọ yẹn jáde tán tí wọ́n gbé ọmọ yẹn fọ́kọ mi lọ́kọ mi ní ẹ̀rọ ọmọ náà wọ́n fẹ́ fi pààrọ̀ mi mà ní ká mọ́ fàrọ̀gùn gbà tó mọ̀ pé ọdún kan oṣù mẹ́rin ọkọ mi jáde láyé.
In fact, the news came out in Daily Sketch. It was terrible. And we were 6. I'm the first son. I have a sister. And at that point in time, I was in JS1.
Dr. Craig dẹ̀ sọ pé mi gbọ́dọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ fún odindi ọdún méjì. So wàhálà yẹn wá terrible.
After her husband's death, her husband's relative told her to withdraw all her children from private schools. They also said they will put someone in charge of the husband's business, and she would be given 300 naira each month for the upkeep of her children, and also her late husband's car would be given to one of his relatives.
Wọ́n ní ṣe ilé tí wọ́n sọ yẹn ṣé mo nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí mo ní àgbà tó jẹ́ yín lẹ làwọn ọmọ yín nǹkan tẹ́ẹ̀dẹ̀ fẹ́ lẹ́sọ yẹn èmi náà ẹ mọ̀ pé mi èébù màá fara mọ́ náà ni.
We sent someone to you to bring our son's car and you refused. As if that was not enough. We sent someone to come to you. You allow that man to go through your brother's business.
We want to know why you are stubborn.
It's simple. How can I take care of 6 children with 300 naira per month? And why should I allow you to take my husband's car? When I have 6 children, how do I go about that?
Mọ́tò tẹ́ fẹ́ gbé níbo lẹ ń gbé lọ ta lẹ fẹ́ lọ gbé fún ṣó wà ń Jẹ̀bú ni Happy ti kú kò sí láàyè mọ́ kò sì ní ọmọ ìyá láàrin yín mo ní mo fẹ́ mọ ọmọ ìyá ẹ̀ láàrin yín tó jẹ́ pé òun ló máa lè bójútó property ẹ̀.
Please, it makes no sense to me.
Gbọ́dọ̀ burúkú lẹ́nu ẹyẹ. It makes no sense to you. Let me tell you something. By the time I'm through with you, you will know it will make sense. Sorry, Ajimoto kan lórúkọ tọ̀sán jẹ́. Òòrùn kàtàrí gbọ̀ngbọ̀ngbọ̀n lórúkọ òru. Tó ìwọ ọ̀sán Ajimoto kan. Ibikíbi tó bá bá mi mo dó dédé.
No. Oh! You people actually came because of me, Abi? I'll be back soon. You guys are joking. You guys are joking.
Happy Days lẹ pè mí ní bẹ́ẹ̀ mọ̀ pé Oǹdó ni mí bẹ́ẹ̀ mi ò ṣe Ìjẹ̀bú ẹgbẹ́ yín ni wọ́n bá ní tí ń bá wá sílùú wọn àwọn máa pa mí ní àwọn máa ṣe ni mo ní tí ń bá ti jáde oṣù 5 ẹ̀yin ni màá kọ́ wá kí.
Mrs. Folajogun Adesina disagreed with them.
Wọ́n dẹ̀ gba lọ́ọ̀yà tìmí lọ́ọ̀yà Kọ́láwọlé Quadri wọ́n ní kí lọ́ọ̀yà yìí kó fún mi ní caveat action pé mi ní ẹ̀tọ́ sí nǹkan ọkọ mi pé torí ó yàn mí lálẹ́ ni.
It's alright. Take this money, give it to your children.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Listen, give that money to your children so you can come with me to London. And if things work out for you, fine. You can come back for your children.
You want me to abandon my 6 children? Just like that?
Now your business have crumbled. So how do you expect to take good care of them?
See, I will add some money I have in the house to this and start a small business. Though it's small, but I will still make do of it. Being with my children will give me hope to forge ahead. I cannot abandon my children.
Ó bẹ́tà kémi wọn méjì kájọ jẹ ìyà yẹn náà. Tọ́lọ́run bá sọ pé mo ṣì máa tún padà di ẹni tó máa lọ ìlú òyìnbó. Kò ju nǹkan tọ́lọ́run lè ṣe in my life. Màá tún padà lọ sí ìlú òyìnbó.
Unknown to Mrs. Folajogun, 4 of her other children were also given admission into tertiary institutions across the country.
Ẹnì kọ̀ọ̀kan bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí jáde school sat. Àwọn 5 ló ní wọ́n jáde school sat papọ̀. nítorí bí wọ́n ṣe jáde wọn ò rí admission gbogbo wọn wá kúnlẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ kan wọ́n dẹ̀ wá rí school sí ẹ̀ẹ̀kan náà.
Mrs. Folajogun Adesina was devastated.
Mo fẹ́ lè wọlé nígbà tí wọ́n mú letter of appointment tí wọ́n fún mi. Nígbà tí wọ́n mú letter àti Adébọ́lá wá mo ṣubú nígbà tó sọ fún mi pé mọ́mì wọ́n ti mú òun ní school tó jẹ́ pé mo ṣe lọ ṣe ti kan kò ìpóṣù kan owó Paul owó Peter òun ni mo fi san owó school náà lọ́jọ́ náà lọ́hùn tẹ́ ẹ bá kó owó kan fún mi bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe wà lórí ìjókòó yìí during the time tí wàhálà àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ fi wà lọ́rùn mi pé kí n gbà ó kí n fún ẹni tó wà ní flat ìsàlẹ̀ ní owó yìí máa fi sanwó school ọmọ mi.
Some of her children suggested they defer their admission. She told them she would look for a way to pay all their fees.
Ẹ dìfà kí ni ẹ lè dìfà ẹ o.
We are going to school and the school fees, and she want the best education for us.
There was another incident tí àwọn mẹ́rin tí wọ́n sick papọ̀ sickness kọjá bẹ́ẹ̀ ọjọ́ kan èmi àtọmọ mi tó jókòó yìí ọkàn mi fà sí láti lọ wò lábẹ́kúta mi sì lówó mọ́tò ọkàn mi dẹ̀ sọ fún mi pé ọmọ ẹ̀ strong ó dẹ̀ yẹ kí n lọ wò ó mo sùn mi lè sùn fọjọ́ mẹ́ta mo wá lọ sí bágà mo wá lọ bá àwọn mọ́tò tó ń lọ sábẹ́kúta bá lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ nìkan mo ní ẹjọ́ sábẹ́kúta lẹ̀ lọ wọn níbẹ̀ ni mo ní ẹjọ́ ẹ̀dẹ̀ ṣèrànlọ́wọ́ kan fún mi wọ́n ní ìrànlọ́wọ́ wo mo ní mo fẹ́ kẹ́ gbé mi ni mi ìlówó ni oníbẹ̀ ẹ̀yìn tẹ́ rí báyìí ẹ̀ lówó mọ́tò mo ní mi ní nìsà mo ní kì í ṣe pé mo fi ṣeré mo ní mo bẹ̀yìn lórúkọ Jésù ń bá tú báàgì mi fún ọkùnrin yẹn wá wò mí títí olódà náà ẹ̀ wọlé ń bá wọlé nígbà tí mo dé Abẹ́òkúta lọ́dọ̀ ọmọ mi tí mo rí mo ń sunkún òun náà ń sunkún.
Many times she always come to Enugu, and I do wonder is when I'm totally stranded. I would just say my mother is here. What happened? I said she just had a dream that I'm not feeling fine, and she did that for all of us.
Last born mi náà ó tún sick tiẹ̀ Joseph Adéjùwọ̀n Adéṣọ̀nà lójijì ni ó lọ bá wọn ṣe nǹkan ní Dànrè wọ́n fi ṣọmọ ìyàwó lọ sí Dànrè ó dẹ̀ dídé tó dé báyìí lòtútù ìdé sí wọ́n á gbé lọ sí Hilton Hospital wọ́n fún lábẹ́rẹ́ mo ṣe débẹ̀ tí mo wò mí sí ní hospital ìgbà tí wọ́n fún lábẹ́rẹ́ mo ṣe dé hospital yìí tí mo wò mo rí pé ẹsẹ̀ kan gbóná ju ìkan lọ mo wá pé dókítà yẹn mo ní dókítà ẹ ti fọmọ ẹ lábẹ́rẹ́ ó ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ẹ ti paralyze ọmọ ẹsẹ̀ ọmọ mi.
And the nurse made a mistake by injecting him in the wrong place, and that affected his leg.
mo ṣe wọ wàhálà ẹsẹ̀ nìyẹn mo ta ilẹ̀ mi tí mo ní ilẹ̀ mẹ́ta ni mo ní mẹ́ta ní Mòwe mo ní ẹyọ kan ní Ọ̀pẹ́ ìlú gbogbo ẹ̀ ni mo tà owó tí mo ná lórí ẹsẹ̀ Adéjùwọ̀n ó kọ́lé ó ta mí lóṣì mo wá ń yọ blọọkì ní redemption camp màá máa tà á fáwọn tó fẹ́ kọ́ ọjà àkókò yẹn bàbá assign ibì kan fún àwọn obìnrin pé kí wọ́n fi kọ́ ọjà mo wá ń yọ blọọkì fún wọn mo tún ta igi màá lọ grade igi yẹn ní Ṣàgámù màá kó fún wọn nígbà tá a ṣe yẹn tí mo rí pé iṣẹ́ ìfẹ́ tán àti kọ́ ọjà tán kí ni máa tún ṣe àwọn ọmọ yóò tí ì jáde tán mo tún bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí í ṣe oúnjẹ tà n bá ta oúnjẹ ní redemption camp màá kọjá lọ sí winners màá tún lọ tó oúnjẹ ń bẹ̀ màá tún lọ sí Christ Embassy òun ni mo ṣe títí àwọn mẹ́rin tí wọ́n fi gbéyàwó nínú àwọn ọmọ náà tí wọ́n ṣe tán ní school tí wọ́n dẹ̀ marry ó wá ṣe díẹ̀ lẹ́nìkan wá pè mí pé ìjẹ́ mo mọ̀ pé àbúrò ọkọ mi sick ó sick kẹ̀ ó ní irú sickness wo onígbà tí n bá rí mo wá aṣọ mo wá rí ó ní mental problem mo wá gbé lọ sí àrò
ní Abẹ́òkúta nígbà tí mo ti gbé lọ Abẹ́òkúta yìí ń bá lọ mú ìyàwó yẹn àtàwọn ọmọ yẹn mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta ń bá kó wọn pọ̀ mọ́ àwọn tèmi nínú ilé mo ń tírèènì àwọn ọmọ yẹn mo kó wọn sí school common school ni mo fi wọn sí school Jákàndé mo fi méjì sí school Jákàndé mo fi kàn sí international nursery school gbogbo wa àdẹ̀jọ ń gbé àjọ ń lọ àjọ ń bọ̀ suddenly wọ́n pè mí pé ó kú ìyẹn àbúrò ọkọ mi yẹn ìyàwó ẹ̀ tún kú 2 years later ọmọ di mẹ́rin mo wá káwọn ọmọ tẹ̀ mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin mo wá kó pọ̀ mọ́ tèmi.
We are 10. It can only take God, who has spared your life, to train us.
Lágbára Ọlọ́run, you will live to eat the fruit of your labor.
Amen.
You will live to declare God's word.
Amen.
Gbogbo wa la ṣe máa san fún yín o. Mo mọ̀ pé things are tough for all of us, but lágbára Ọlọ́run, a ṣe máa san fún yín.
Amen.
In good health.
Amen.
Lágbára Ọlọ́run, it is well with you.
Amen.
Like we say, all mothers are great, but some go the extra mile. Some make extraordinary sacrifices for their children, for their family, and they all deserve to be celebrated. So if you're born of a mother or you befriend one, show her how much you appreciate her love, her kindness, her sacrifices, and her devotion. You never know, her life's reward may just be your appreciation. Till next time, take care of yourself and each other.
The Supermom Season 2, a celebration of our mothers.
Every day they suffer for me like no other man. If I no job, you no good job, you the provide.